We're going to start right out with our show, and we're going to start out with about voting. And we have the League of Women Voters from Saratoga here today, and we have two of our guests here. We're going to be talking about voting, and they've come up with a video, but wait, let them talk about it. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
Good to have you on the show today.
You.
We have Leslie with us as well, Leslie Dana. Let's talk about the video. And you, just before the show, she told me, I did the script. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So tell me about that.
Well, it turned into a video because it was an initiative from the League of Women Voters called Take Me to Vote. And I worked on that for 10 years, and it was getting kids to the polls and getting a little I went to the polls today sticker, and it was to get kids to the polls young because that tends to keep them in the polls when they age. So last year
It was familiarizing them with it. Yeah.
Well, actually, yes, because the statistics say if you get started early, this is something you will do as a citizen later on. But last year, pandemic comes, and I went to the league and I said, I can't, in all good conscience, do this program this year. We can't send kids out into the public.
No,
yeah. I said, how do you think about this? Let's make a video to share with teachers, probably a lot of remote learning going on. Let's give the teachers a tool so they can do their citizenship piece, and it'll be safe, and the kids' job will be to visit websites and educate their parents for the importance of voting. And 2021 rolls around, I still can't get behind the idea of sending kids to the polls. Go to the league again. What do you think about doing another video? Because it's an off year. People don't know that it's important to vote.
But it's still important because these are local elections.
Exactly. So they were on board again. I put out an all call. Where do we have some talent? Found the talent.
Yeah. Hey, Leslie, here you are. Yeah. What did you think of the project?
I really was delighted to be asked and to jump on for this particular issue, both the voting and bringing it into the youth. And I've done some other creative projects for the League in the past, and I thought it was a really tight script that moved really, really well.
I have to say, I watched it, and I hope that people will watch it, and if you'll tell them how to take a look at it if it's online. But the important thing about that is you really explain the different years and who votes and why. I thought it was excellent. I mean, of course, I voted every year because I'm one of these people that votes, you know. But the thing is, I don't think a lot of people understand. And they'll say, oh, I forgot to vote. Oh, my vote doesn't count. What do you respond to that? My vote doesn't count.
Well, then you let me vote twice, is what I say.
Can you do that?
Well, no, because if you don't vote, then mine has more power.
Yeah.
You've empowered me in a way that I don't think was the intention.
Ah, that's a good
and
point.
And a non-vote is a vote.
Yeah.
It
exactly.
is a vote, and people don't always connect
I have a little thing on
that.
my refrigerator that says you can opt out of voting, but you can't opt out of the consequences of that.
Well, you know, and there was a thing that you'll see after an election. It says, don't blame me, I voted for so-and-so. You know, one of those things.
Yeah, I've been noticing those lately.
Yeah.
But, no, the thing that was important to me, I also have in the past few years become increasingly irritated by this notion that civics is no longer being taught. And I'm a retired teacher, and I was mostly in 5th grade. So a lot of what you see in the video is 5th grade curriculum.
Oh, it was excellent.
So so my feeling was that I have to help teachers, because if we aren't careful, this importance of voting is going to be corroded and eroded. And so it was my response to, yeah, kids are being taught about government, and they are being encouraged to participate. And I don't know where these rumors came from that teachers don't do this anymore.
Well, it's social media. I mean, people will say anything on social media, right?
Yeah. Well, teachers work hard to produce good citizens.
Yeah.
And they start in kindergarten. You know, your community, your firemen, and then it builds and builds. And so, yeah, we can't lose sight of the fact that teachers need our support, particularly now when they're struggling to deliver important curriculum in a difficult time. So this video really is meant to be a kind of a gift.
Well, I have to say, I did watch it, and I think I've said this before, but the point is, I think everybody should see this video, not just kids, even though it's directed at kids, telling them to go talk to your parents, right?
go research, bring them into it. One of the pieces I really value about this is it activates, it lets the kids know they've got action they can do now to participate, to be getting ready to be the citizens that we need, active, informed citizens down the line. And that gives them a place now in the conversation, which is, I think, really welcomed.
Well, it's interesting. I'll go back a few years in my own life when I was advocating for somebody running for president. And they said, well, why are you doing that? You can't vote.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? And I was a teenager at the
Right,
time.
right. Well, if you can get someone to vote, then you've had a voice.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting, even my little middle school kids, Chloe and Ethan, that came and I did the script with them and tweaked words if they thought the words were incorrect. And so I sent them home and said, I will know I did my job if you can explain to your parents what this is about. And when they got to the part about the amendments, the parents were like, I didn't know we had to vote for New York State amendments this year.
Of course.
That's a huge,
big
huge thing. Not just local government, but this.
There hasn't been a lot of talk about
No,
it either.
there has not.
Because when I saw the video, I'm going, oh, we have to vote for an
Yeah,
amendment this year?
Yeah, no, 5.
5 amendments?
And I actually, my transparency on this was like, oh, I never thought of the resolutions as an amendment to the state constitution.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it connects the dots in some really important
This is
ways.
why, there's so much with, when we vote. There's so many issues that come up. You might get one, in a local community, should we, build on such and such. I mean, they have different things you can vote on. But, you don't think about the things like the amendments, which are very important.
Right.
And usually the newspapers will come out and say you're voting on these amendments and a pro and con, and I haven't seen anything.
Well, I would encourage people to go to the New York State Board of Election website or the League 411 website, because they're
And we've
very
been bringing those up.
complicated.
I think we've been bringing those up on
Yeah,
the screen.
They're complicated issues. They deserve thoughtfulness and real, education to go to the polls and make good choices. But back to the video, one of the things I thought was interesting, because I wanted to find out when I started the project, why do we vote in November? Where did that come from?
Oh, I love
And
that. I
I
love
was
it.
fascinated by that. I had no idea.
Should we leave that as a cliffhanger? Tell them to
Sure.
go look
Yeah.
at the video to find out why they did it in
Yeah.
November. There's a very
It
interesting
is.
reason
Very.
that really isn't so valid now, but it makes sense.
Well, the school year isn't valid either, but hint, hint, it's kind of based on that same kind
Yeah.
of.
Go see the video. Yeah,
okay.
where can they see that video?
Well, it's.
Is it on YouTube?
Well, yes, it's linked there, but it's, if you can put up the website, I tried to make it easy to remember, and now I can't remember, but it's like League of Women Voters Saratoga, Teach Me to Vote
Okay.
20.
Check it
21.
out. And I recommend that everybody take a look at that video, because I thought, as an adult and someone who has voted every year, I even got something out of that video.
I
So-
want to make one
did
little
too.
thing before we leave. It started out as Take Me to Vote, and then we changed it to Teach Me to Vote. And it's
Okay.
not only about teaching the kids, but the real connect is teach your parents how to vote.
Yeah, just get out there and vote.
Yeah.
Vote. I don't care how you vote, but vote. Get out there, show
Exactly.
people what you think and how you believe. Whatever it is, it's important that and we are the worst country for voting. When you look at other countries and you find out, 80% of people get out and vote and all that, and it's like, here we are, And I'll say quickly, I had a visitor from China, and it was in November. So I brought her into the vote. I asked if I could
Yeah,
bring her into the
yeah,
voting
yeah.
booth, and they said, no problem. I brought her into the voting booth and showed her how we vote. She was amazed that we could actually vote for who we wanted.
Yeah.
So, not every country has this, and
Very few
some,
do.
and so, get out there and vote. And
That's
listen,
right.
go to their website. It's the League of Women Voters Saratoga,
It's a great
LWV, Saratoga, and then .org, I believe. Is it org? Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
I wrote
it
it
is
down. It is
.org.
org.
Yes,
Org.
yes,
I got
yes.
it written down here. Org. And then teach me to vote. Right.
Me to Vote.
Take a look at that video.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
This
you.
is really important.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much for being here and for doing that video. It was wonderful. So
Loved
thank you
being
very
involved.
much. Okay.
Thank you.
And keep up the good work.
Thank
And I want you to know that you are certainly doing a great job. So
Thank you.
anyway, yeah, that's great.